Hey, we're back again here on Vibe AZ 24/7. This is your man Dan, and I am glad to welcome you back to another edition of You Too Near Me Not to Hear Me. Um, Sorry I missed you guys on last week. This is a brand new show for you guys here in August, and so I wanted to make sure I kind of connected with you. Particularly, this is a very special kind of month for me. I know that we have um, colleges starting and school starting. And I know I spent some time with you all talking to students, parents, teachers, and administrators. This time I want to kind of grind down on a few things in these episodes. I want to touch on some things as adults, what we're going to need, um, and preparing for our future, whether whatever age you are, and getting to the closer that you get to when you are finally feeling like you're getting ready to turn some things over to your relatives, family, and loved ones. I want to talk to some young people who are specifically into college and how they are managing this new experience of being in college. And there's a few other things, and just want to make sure that we cover it today and you too near me not to hear me. So let's get it started. Let's get it cracking. So with that being said, um, I just recently purchased a safe because I wanted to have documents and valuable items that could be placed in there that would be obviously protected. But I think more than protected about with a thief, I was thinking more along the line of a fire or something that happened and what should be done with those documents and things that I think that need to be protected. It's a really nice safe. It's leather lined, a whole nine. It's got a key entry. It has a combination entry. It even has a fingerprint entry. It's got all these different kinds of things. It can be mounted um, inside the wall and all that kind of stuff. And so it's really kind of cool. I really like it. But one of the things that I was thinking about as I was saying, what do I need to put in a safe? And these are things that I think that you need to put your hands on in case something happens, so that loved ones, anybody else around is able to get to what I call important documents. So I've kind of created this list, and some of you all may know this, and some of you all don't, but that's why when you're here listening in on YouTube, you may not to hear me in this first episode, and we'll just get it cracking. So first thing I want to do is I want to tell you that thank yourself for doing this because there's going to come a time when something happens and you're going to say, man, where is all my stuff? And you will be thanking yourself for taking the time right now to go ahead and do the process of one, getting a safe, a fireproof box that's locked combination, whatever the case may be, key, whatever you do it, you're going to thank yourself. And the reason why you're going to thank yourself because there's going to be some important things that you're going to put in there. So let's start off with, and these four things that I'm going to bring into you. Let's start off with documents that deal with your home and how you basically administer taking care of your home. So the first thing that you want to put in there is your mortgage papers and or your leasing documents. So if you're leasing for an apartment, if you have mortgage papers on a home, you need to have that information. Now, if you own your home, then you want to put that title of deed of that home of that item in your box. Um, Again, you never know when you need to put your hands on it, but it's gonna find it very important. Hopefully that you get a safe deposit box or some kind of safe that you're able to put files in, or you have a very nice leather portfolio to put this in. But I would label your items so that if in case of something happens to you, somebody can immediately go to your safe, pull up and find the tab that says mortgage, leasing documents, and they're able to get exactly what it means. It will help you in the end. You'll thank yourself, and it'll also help somebody who's trying to take care of you and whatever else is going on. Second thing you need to put into that item is you're going to need to put in your utilities information and your account information. So if you've got whatever power company that you're going through, your electric, gas, water, whatever the case may be, if you have you put your stuff online and you've got certain accounts and passwords and things like that, get that all written down on a piece of paper. and make sure you have all of that information put in there so that it's noted so that somebody can literally see, okay, if I got to go to the gas company, this is what the account is. Here's the password. Here's the information that's vital to it, whatever it may be. That's next one is going to be, and this may sound strange, but a neighbor or a close contact that you have that you trust, neighbor, family member, whoever is a close contact. And I'm in close contact within minutes of getting to your home. This is the information that somebody would need to have, and you trust them with this information. So you're going to put, maybe it's your next door neighbor. Just putting down their contact information. Hey, talk to John Doe, who's living next door, whose address is, whose telephone number is, and you can even put something really kind of cool down, like here's a password that we share between two so that they know, oh, you said Apple Music. And they were like, okay, that's our code word, so that they know who they're talking to, so that they say, oh, you got the password, so you know what's going on. Just think about that. Also put in this little thing, put your spare key location. There's a spare key to your car, spare key to your home, spare key to the office, whatever it is, it's a spare key. You need to put it inside this. Also, I would do is I would put down any of your maintenance account records, anything that you have as a warranty, a home warranty, or something like this. You need to put that information in there, make sure that these things are labeled. Okay, next one up. I want you to put in your medical and wellness information. Really important. Put down a copy of your health insurance card. You need to list, like from your doctor, what your actual health history is. So all the things that your doctor knows, you need to have it listed down in there so that just in case of something going on, you're incapacitated, somebody knows exactly what's going on with you, and all the information. Your family health information needs to go in here in that same safe area. Um, Really important, your medication, the list of it, and the dosage of it. Now, we don't think about these kinds of things because we're just doing this stuff every day, but you really do need to think about it because something happens to you, somebody's got to administer your medication, you're not at home or you somewhere else. They can get to that safe, they can get that information and take care of you. The last thing is your doctor's and your hospital's information. Whoever's your primary care physician, whoever's your, if you have a special team that you work with on anything that's going on with you health-wise, they need to have that information so that they can contact you and so they can contact about you and take care of you. Next thing I'm going to put in here is that in that safe, you need to have your financial and legal information. So your bank account, login information, accounts, all that kind of stuff, passwords, everything needs to be put in there. A budget overview of how your house runs. That means from the core, from the mortgage to the auto payments to all your bills that go out, everything that it becomes a process of money coming in and out of the house that deals with your financial responsibilities, credit cards, everything that's it. It needs to, all that information needs to be listed out with the passwords and everything that's else in it. You need to have your insurance policy for your auto, your home, and your life, a copy of it, and keep that current because it changes every year. Not necessarily have the actual card in there, but you can make a copy of it and place it in there. This is vitally important because in case of your demise, your insurance papers can easily be found, particularly your life insurance. And make sure that in that, if you have a trust, a power of attorney, or anything that is a will or an advance directive, it needs to be in this safe. Okay. Really super important about that. Now, last thing I do is, and this is very, very simple, you need to put in a copy of your ID. And that means a copy of your driver's license, a copy of your passport, anything that is an identification. If it's a work identification, put a copy of it in there. Vitally important. And when you said, why would you say your work ID? Well, think about this. If you have to show proof of, somebody has to show proof of that you worked for this company that you've been in partnership with or anything like that, and you have a 401k or something that's lined up to it, you can say, well, literally, I have a copy of their ID and all these other information. So yes, this is the person who I'm representing because they could be your power of attorney who's handling your directive. You need to have a way for them to understand how to get to that. If there's somebody in particular at your company or whoever you're working with who deals with your financial matters in your HR, they need to have that information, who to talk to, what accounts, all these kinds of things. List all this stuff down because it's super important that they have all of this. All right. Next thing, actually have a copy of your passport, a copy of your passport. If you have a return passport that has been given back to you that is stamped or clipped or something like that, stick that inside of there. Make sure that a copy of your social security card goes in there. If you don't need to carry your social security card around with you, stick the actual social security card up in there. And then, last but not least, a list of emergency contacts. And it really should go down list by list. So whoever is vitally most important, if that's a spouse, children, any living parents, relatives listed all the way down to cousins, whoever you trust, that list of their name, their address, their email address, and their telephone number. Vitally, vitally important, because if somebody has some information about you and then it's vitally important about how your businesses and affairs are being handled, they need to see you to see that. That's why it should be in a safe. It should be in a with a combination lock and something like that. Who you choose to share that with is up to you, but you need to make sure that you're not the only one that has that information. I would say that there should be several people that have that who you truly trust. You got to decide that. I can't help that with you on that. I mean, pick who you truly trust. But anyway, more than anything, if it's somebody who's in state, they need to, whoever you vitally trust, make sure that there's a chain of command of, if this person doesn't have it, this person has it. If this person has it, this person has it. The last person that have it, they need to have all that information. So when you talk to whoever these people are, you can connect them together or you can leave them completely separate. But somebody in that group needs to make sure that they know everybody on that list, all the combinations that are necessary so that if something happens to you or if something happens to them, you got a backup. And you're saying, wow, this is really, not just sticking documents in a safe. No, it's not. We don't prepare ourselves, particularly in our community. We don't prepare ourselves, or just in general as human beings, we don't prepare ourselves sometimes for life's sudden turns and changes. If you don't do this now, you're going to put somebody in the position who has to deal with this. You're going to make it a whole lot harder. And there's going to be things that they miss, things that are not able to handle your affairs. You need to make sure that that stuff is vitally taken care of. Trust me, I have gone through two parents who I dearly love who have passed on. Some of their stuff was in order, some of their stuff was not in order, and it made it a challenge for my sisters and I to handle theirs in business. It doesn't matter. But when you have all these things in place, you're going to make it in life a whole lot easier. Now, I can tell you where the water is. I can't tell you how to drink the water and if you should drink it. That's on you. Love you. That's why you're on You Too Near Me Not to Hear Me on Vibe AZ 24/7. Hey, I appreciate you listening. I'm going to come right back. I've got some more stuff to share, but again, I appreciate you taking the time out to do this. Shoot some information in the comments about what you like. I'm on YouTube under the same title of You Too Near Me Not to Hear Me. And I'd love to hear what you say in response to all of that. Other that being said, I'll be right back here on Vibe AZ 24/7 and also on YouTube. You Too Near Me Not to Hear Me. We'll be right back.